Hi ladies and gents, Pond here with another video for Rise of Empires, Ice and Fire. Thank you so much for your previous likes, comments and subscriptions to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, why not click on that subscribe button and ring that bell so you can get notifications whenever I'm dropping videos on the channel, which is daily. And now onto the topic of this video, which is the SX5 Hero Liberator. So I don't have the Liberator in any of my accounts at the moment. I wasn't recruiting on the SX5 banner just because I'm saving my tickets for next season. But let's have a look at Liberator anyway. So he is a footman hero. As you can see, he specializes in defense. He definitely has to be put on the front row squad, and we'll look at various reasons why that is in a minute. Now, Liberator for footman, his first skill is just as normal, the 23,100 extra marching capacity for your troops in the squad. His second skill, Shield Wall, it is a status skill, so this is going to be effective at all times. So this is the best type of skill that you can get. And now the description is missing the percentage symbols, so just for this, the devs have made a bit of a, well, they haven't proofread what they're looking at, have they, as they released it, but it's 50% chance for counterattack for up to 150% damage when hit by normal attacks. Also, a 50% chance for your own squad to take minus 60% skill damage each turn, lasting for one turn. So there's a 50% chance of this activating through the battle. So you're looking at potentially probably 4 or 5 times in a battle usually. And you can see that it will activate pre-battle, and then you've got the chance every turn. So you won't see the shield wall icon popping up mid-round during a battle. It just activates at the start of the battle, and then you've got this chance every time. So it can't be silenced or suppressed. That's why it's better than a combat skill. 150% damage is not a lot, and you're going to see that in the battle video that we're about to that I'll play for you in a minute. So he's not great in terms of the damage that he's going to do. 50% chance for the squad to take minus 60% skill damage is a good amount. That is going to help make him tanky, protect those troops on the front row. So it's a pretty good skill. His third skill, as usual, is the defensive formation. It's giving the extra 50% resistance, nothing new there. And skill 4 as well is the offensive element, giving the extra 50% might to the troops in the squad. His fifth skill, for freedom. This is a passive skill, so it activates after he has normal attacked. And so normal attacks have an 80% chance to apply troop recovery block, lasting one turn. So troop recovery block, that means if you are up against, say, those kind of meta cav legions that have got lawman or an army breaker, or they've got windwalker on the front, or you're up against another footman legion that might have, say, someone's put bleeding steed at the front of their squad, or scander, of course, then this is going to help. This is going to give a high chance of stopping that troop recovery block, which obviously is going to be a massive benefit to you, because you're nulling those effects of, say, Scander, Windwalker and Lawman, all top level heroes who give the best healing abilities. This is obviously going to only target the front row though, because your normal attacks will initially be hitting that front row. So potentially it's good if your opponent has has a healer in their legion. Obviously, if they don't have a healer, you're not going to get the benefit of this skill from the first part of the skill. But there's also a 70% chance to bestow clear-minded to your back row. Basically, this is exactly the same as what Roku's 5th skill does, what Avalanche's 8th skill does. I don't know why they keep changing the name of it, because Avalanche's 8th skill says she has clarity, and they've called it clear-minded in this instance. But you can see it's going to make your back row immune to silencing, disarm, suppression and confused statuses, and it lasts one turn. You'll see in the battle that this is actually going to activate multiple times, so it's very helpful for protecting your back row hero, particularly for someone, say, if you're using a mixed legion and you've got Jade Eagle in that legion, and Jade Eagle is really susceptible to being silenced and suppressed because he has all those combat skills that also require prep. So having Liberator, particularly in mixed legions, is really going to be beneficial for you. Now let's look at the 6th skill, Awaken. It does have 15% extra resistance, plus this great 15% extra HP. So this is why we know that Liberator is definitely a front row hero. Giving the extra HP, more health means that you'll lose less troops. 250% bonus to leadership skills, so that's increasing the troop count from the dictator skill on skill 1 as usual. His 7th skill is the extra resistance, again for all 3. It will be all 3 squads in the Legion. Ignore this writing, it's not just for the footmen in the hero squad, it's the whole Legion. And again, that is a typo that the devs haven't sorted. So 40% extra resistance, that's again making you a little bit tankier. And then 8th skill, hold the line. It's a prep skill, so again it's less susceptible to silence and suppression. And when the hero squad is in the front row, so this is why you do have to put him in the front row if this skill doesn't work. For the first 3 rounds, all allied squads take minus 20% less damage. Now again, there's a double, the wording is incorrect there. You're not going to take minus less damage, it's just 20% less damage, which is obviously going to again help with protecting troops. And starting from the 4th round, 40% of the damage your back row squad deals will be converted into front row troops after the effect ends. Now this is a brand new type of healing skill that we haven't seen in any heroes before. And what you've got to consider is that 40% of the damage that your back row is doing is what's going to produce the healing. So you want to pair Liberator with back row heroes that are doing high amounts of damage. So for Footmen, if you don't have Dragon Master gear and you're just looking at a Footman Legion, then to be honest, the further you progress in the game with the back row heroes, the more damage they're doing. So Valkyrie would be your number 1 option, then Desert Storm, then Jade Rakshasa, and then Iron Hand as the last kind of option. If you are looking at mixed legions, this really opens up your options because, again, what I've already said, Liberator pairs perfectly with Jade Eagle. He helps protect Jade Eagle. If Jade Eagle is getting off more of his high damage skills, can you imagine if Jade Eagle gets off 2 or 3 Jade Eagles in the second half of the battle, say on, even if he just gets off 2, that's potentially 45,000 kills. 40% of that transferring back into healing. You could actually see Liberator getting close to 20,000 heals in 1 round, which is even better than Skander's healing skill. So this, with the right hero, I would say you want to be pairing him with either Avalanche, Jade Eagle, or Reaper. They are all the top killers in the game. Then this is going to make a massive difference, and obviously it's going to make it really hard to wear down the Liberator if he's healing in such vast quantities towards the end of the battle. So let's look at Liberator in action. Luckily, a few of people, we actually only have 3 players in our state that currently have Liberator maxed, but one of my friends did actually go up against one of them earlier today in Heroes Duel, and he was kind enough to share the battle report with me so we can watch a video of Liberator in action. Now this is with 3 pieces of Dragon Master gear and then also 3 pieces of Footman gear by the looks of it. And this Legion is Liberator, Skander, Spectral Reaper, so pairing him with a top killer. This is not one of the top mixed legions, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And we're going to see Liberator now in action in this video, and he actually gets off 10 skills, most of those being his skill 5 for freedom, because that's the passive skill. So here we go. Let's have a look at the battle. You're going to see pre-battle, Liberator is activating his shield wall and hold the line, because those are, again, being a status skill and a prep skill, these activate pre-battle. And then we've got the other heroes activating their skills as well. So what you're watching for is when there are basic attacks on this front row here, you're going to see his skill 2 doing this counter-attacking damage. Now, in the first turn, he didn't actually, that skill did not activate at all, even though he got hit 3 times. And this is why it's one of the weakest skills, really. There we go. That minus 744 on the front row of the opponent, that was the count. That was the 150% counter-attacking damage. And there we go, 728 on the middle row. And 699. So on turn 2, it did activate all 3 times. And now we're seeing his for freedom skill. And obviously the problem is in this video we don't have any troop recovery on that front row from Warlord, and because he doesn't have a healing skill, so we're not going to see that in action on this battle. But you will see also, obviously, the second element is providing that clear-minded status to the back row hero. Now, on turn 2, when that activated, that skill activated, it didn't provide the clear-mindedness. There's more of that counter-attacking again from his skill 2. And remember, obviously, in these first 3 turns, all 3 of the squads in your legion have had reduced damage. Now, do you see this icon comes up? The Jakuraku Jodo. That is the... Now, I don't know what's happened here, but I think this is probably coding relating to the hero in Last Shelter Survival, because which is a hero called Glutton. I can only imagine that's what it is, because this is activating on the 5th skill. It's for freedom. It's providing the clear-mindedness to the back row, but it's a different icon. So there's the devs need to fix that in an update, because it's not correct. But this is, when you see this icon currently, that is giving the back row clear-mindedness. And you can see that despite having Roku's silencing skill there, he was still... Yes, despite having his silencing skill, Spectral was still able to get off his skill because of the clear-mindedness. So now we're in turn 4. The difference we're going to see now is that we're going to start seeing this healing skill happening. So that was actually Skander healing. And there we go. The 3,177 healing was the 40% of the damage that Spectral Reaper did with his basic attack on the turn. So you have to be quite, you have to kind of pay attention, and you'll see that it's done as an individual calculation each time that Spectral Reaper does damage to the opponent. Now, one thing with pairing Liberator with, there's more healing there, 3,209. So when Liberator is paired with Skander's 8th skill on the on turns 5 and 6, it basically makes your front row dodge, so you don't take any damage. So as you're not taking any damage, you won't see Liberator's counter-attacking ability. Now you can see healing here. So there's a Tamashi, so that was 19,000 damage, and you got 7,800 healing on Liberator. And actually you're seeing now Liberator's troop count has gone up slightly since turn 5. It was very low, it was around about 16,000, but through the healing ability of Skander and through his 8th skill, he's actually increasing his troop count towards the end of the battle. You've also got, you're seeing this clear-minded status given to Spectral Reaper again. And here we go, we're going to see a Jabaku. So that's 8,784, and you get 3,513 healing back. Plus you got another 4,206 back from the basic attack. So you can see this is why this healing ability is with a top killer. It is very, very good healing ability, but you must pair him with a good killer. Then we're going to see a Jabaku one more time. Oh, but there's only 47 troops on that row. So look, you only get a healing of 18. So it just depends. And then 4,000 from that last basic attack. So Robin lost the battle, but Liddy, who had Liberator in her legion, did win. So Liberator, he is a very, very good front row hero. The thing is with Footman though, with Bleeding Steed being such a top hero, I'm not sure even that Liberator still would replace Bleeding Steed from a Footman combination. And as I say, you're losing a little bit of his abilities when you pair him with Skander. Who are you going to want to pair him with, really? Well, for Footman, he does work actually in a defensive combination. If you put him with Steed and then Skander on the back row, you've got so much healing between those. Even if you don't, you're not getting a lot of damage from Skander, but that will be a really good defensive Footman Legion. If you're looking for a more attacking Legion, you can put Liberator on the front row and then have either Steed, Bleeding Steed or Skander on your middle row, and then any of the 4 attacking archer heroes, back row heroes. So as I said, Valkyrie, Desert Storm, Jade Rakshasa or Iron Hand. That would be a good kind of balanced Legion for Footmen. Then we're looking at mixed Legions. And for me, this is where Liberator really comes into his own. I think he has been more designed with the aim of looking at mixed combinations. So if you do have at least 4 pieces of Dragon Master gear, then I would say that, or if you've got multiple sets of Dragon Master gear, then Liberator is probably going to be a hero that you want to go for. He does really work well, say with Liberator, Bleeding Steed and Jade Eagle, Liberator, Lawman and Avalanche, if you want to use a Footman and 2 Cavalry. He works really well then with, as you've seen there, Liberator with Skander, and then either you can have Jade Eagle or Spectral Reaper, and he also works well with Liberator, Army Breaker and Spectral Reaper, because again, Army Breaker is doing a lot of silencing, so that's going to prevent Jade Eagle getting attacked and hurt as well, and plus Army Breaker also has healing as well. So that's kind of the idea of Liberator, is that he's benefiting from the top killers. He's providing a lot of protection to your killer hero and also to himself. In terms of what order would you want to unlock his skills? Well, of being a front row hero, you definitely want to awaken him first, in my opinion. Even though this healing skill is so good, obviously you definitely need a full troop count on a front row for a front row hero. So it would be skill 6 first, then skill 8, and then skill 7 last. And yeah, I mean, he is a pretty good hero. I'm not sure how I would rate him. I would probably rate him, if I was doing like a 5-star system, I'd probably rate him 4 stars, because he is very good in mixed legions, and he's still very good for your footmen as well. Particularly if you're running 2 Footman Legions, you definitely want him there. Or if you wanted to use a defensive queue with footmen, then that Liberator, Bleeding Steed, Skander combination would be really good as well in terms of defense. So there we go, guys. That is the Liberator. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please do click on that like, and if you haven't already, why not subscribe and ring that bell so you can get those notifications of whenever I'm dropping videos on the channel. And if you could please share my channel in your Alliance chat, Province chat, and through Line, WhatsApp, Viber, Discord, whatever you use to communicate with your fellow players in the game, that would be absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.